would be your up for the game so far?
Well, there's quite a bit up. I think I would argue that's our best period of the season so far. Overall, it was a bit of a slow start, first couple minutes there. Like you said, lots of stops and starts. But once we settled in, we really started to drive the play and control things. So that was a positive for sure. The line combinations looked like they started to click a little better together towards the end of the period, and that's really nice to see. What a goal by the PD line. Love to see more of that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, scary to start. It was like 9 seconds in. JT Miller leaves the ice off that weird face-off thing. He hasn't been taking face-offs since too, so that's a little bit of concerning. What are your thoughts on what do you think happened?
Maybe a stinger on the wrist or something. I'm hoping it's not too serious. Obviously, he's back in the game, which is a huge positive. But you never want to see that off the opening draw with your top guy.
Yeah. I think my only down for that first period so far is that Tyler Myers didn't get any big hit because I was hoping you'd see some kind of a mammoth hit.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Hey, for me, I think the down is still the power play. It's still struggling to mesh. You know, we are not really establishing ourselves in the offensive zone. Feels, I occasionally feel more nervous that we're going to give up a shorthanded goal than we are that we're going to score. So hopefully, I don't know what it's going to take for those guys to click, but there's enough talent there that someone's just got to be the trigger man.
Yeah.
And once that starts happening, now Hughes with the new shot, hopefully he starts getting the confidence to take it more often and just start pushing the play from the blue line in and opening up that middle a little bit. Because when we work the perimeter so much, we work it to death. It just chokes up that middle, and that's been hard for us to cut through.
Yeah, truth. I almost think I haven't looked at the stats yet. I'll check it out later, but I almost think they had more shots on the shorthanded side of things than they did while they were on their own power play. So that's just not something. It's great you getting shots shorthanded, but you don't want more shots on your penalty kill than you do on your power play.
Absolutely. Well, they definitely had the most dangerous chance there on the penalty kill.
Yeah. Well, the next topic we were going to bring in, and I'm like, we're all very excited about this one. Dakota Joshua taking morning skate, wearing the non-contact jersey, but he was on the ice with the boys, and we love to see it. What does Dakota Joshua mean to the Canucks roster?
I mean, it's nothing but positive things. He's what hockey teams like to call a glue guy. He's one of those players that drags everyone else into the battle. He knows when a big hit needs to be thrown. He knows the right way to do it. He's such a presence in front of the net. Listening to talk about him earlier today, his comments, he just says the way he plays is contagious. And he wins battles in the corners. He's a huge net front presence, and his return is going to be like making a major trade. That's super high praise from a coach to give a guy that's just starving to get into that lineup. It's killing him to be out, and it's got to be nothing but positive morale for the boys when he's out there.
Yeah, just a terrifying experience too, right? Nobody wants to hear the C word, right? Like fuck cancer. I'll say that right now.
No, absolutely.
Glad to hear that. It looks like everything's going as they wanted it to. It looks like he's back, and you're right. That's one thing I was thinking about the other day. When I look at the Canucks roster right now, we're probably needing another forward who can play in the the top three lines, and we're going to need another defenseman. And at this point, with Dakota Joshua coming back, essentially that's the, like you said, Talkett said, it's like getting a trade. So they've already got that trade, Chef Alvin, ready to make a fake trade and have Joshua come back onto the lineup. Before we move on to the next topic, I just want to go back to the ups and downs, because there's one up I forgot I wanted to say is that Vinny Desharnais. He did a couple things. He had a hit, he slashed Hathaway in the back of the leg and got away with it. A couple good block passes. What did you see from Vinny so far through the first period?
Well, I think I saw exactly why we brought him aboard. That meanness, and it frees him up to play a little more of that style when he has Brandstrom, who can move the puck with speed and finesse, playing with him. So I actually really like the balance of our defensive pairings now that Brandstrom has been called up.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we were lacking in the first 3 games was a secondary breakout from our own zone. Hughes and Hronek can't do it every shift. So having Brandstrom up now looks like it's going to probably stick. I don't see him coming out of the lineup just because of that ability to move the puck.
Yeah. Yeah. So then the let's quickly jump on over to the other topic that we want to talk about. Obviously, the Chaos Giraffe got the t-shirts
Big
made
man
tonight.
himself.
Number 1000, right?
Yep.
What's your like Myers moment? What do you remember him most for?
Oh, I think, well, obviously the Keith hit, just getting that redemption. And I think one of the big things for Myers is, I think, because of winning the Calder Trophy, the expectations on him as a defenseman were set a little bit high. I think in his rookie year, it wasn't the strongest rookie class.
Correct.
So it was probably a bit skewed in the fact that he won the Calder. Just being a big man, he didn't have to do much, right? He went into Buffalo there and played pretty much every game. That being said, I think the expectations on him have been set unfairly high. I think he's done well to progress his game as much as he can, and I think the last couple of years we've really seen a huge growth under Foote and Gonchar as our defensive coaches. So, and one thing we definitely saw last year was his ability to elevate his game in the playoffs and bring an extra intensity when it's needed. So I'm really looking forward to that this year again, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think me and you have actually talked about this a number of times, because I've been a proponent of Myers is going to be a key for the Canucks in any kind of a playoff run, because he takes a lot of penalties, and we all know that. But there's a difference between regular season hockey. There's a difference between a playoff hockey. A lot of things that he does in the regular season does not get called in the playoffs. And in fact, you need those things to happen in the playoffs to be successful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And over the last 40 games or so with him, he's really reduced the number of penalties that he's taking. He's out there killing penalties for us, and it's been a huge reason why the penalty kill has turned around the way it has. It was great in that first period, bringing tight pressure and not really giving Philly a chance to even get over the line.
Yeah. I mean, I would almost say that I think Tyler Myers might be the best. I'd say for sure he's the best defenseman for our penalty kill. He might be one of the top 3 best penalty killers on the team at this point, which is saying a lot, because the Canucks have done a lot of work to get a lot of guys in here on the forward ranks to be penalty killers. But Tyler Myers out there is an absolute beast, that long reach. And I think going back to your point too, Calder Trophy gave him those expectations. He's the rookie of the year. And then the other thing is that contract too, right? So trying to live up to that contract.
Exactly.
So just before we move on to Lankinen, I am trying something new right now. I don't think you're going to be able to see this, Dustin, but you may remember it. Tyler Myers years ago, while he was still on Buffalo, was actually in Philly warming up, and there was Philly fans doing their thing. They're taunting the players. They're having a good time. So one Buffalo player shoots the puck against the glass, but then Tyler Myers did the same thing. So let's show that to the kids here. Yeah. Okay. So Stanford. Yeah. And then Myers, boom, shatters the glass. Fans are screaming, running out of the way. Hilarious. Very, very good.
Yeah. Talk about establishing your dominance, hey?
Yeah. Chaos Giraffe early on in his career. So the next point, obviously Lankinen looking really good so far tonight, making a couple saves, maybe losing his post a little bit a couple times there, but there was some chaos. What does that mean for Lankinen to get his second start in a row?
I think it just shows that everyone else sees it, that he is showing that he's the more NHL ready goalie right now. Obviously, he's played for some good teams in the past, and last year with Nashville, you're not going to play much with Saros there. So I think the team looks calmer in front of him as a whole. And yes, he almost lost his post a little bit there, but defensively, we're picking up the guys in front and cleaning up that garbage and not really giving Philly a chance at any rebounds or anything like that. So we can afford to have a couple of those moments.
So what does it mean for
You know,
Sheloves then?
well, that's the thing. You know, with Sheloves, he obviously has the tools, but I just don't think he showed enough growth over the summer. With learning to track the puck more through traffic and working on the things that he really needed to work on, be ready for the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did a great job in the playoffs last year, but that's a small sample size. It's a very different beast being a starting goaltender for an entire NHL season. And if you can't track the puck through traffic, you're in big trouble. So, with that being said, Patera and Tolopilo are kind of holding fort down in Abbotsford. Does Shelov's now become a trade bait prospect when we need to find that extra D man or maybe another top 3 forward or top 6 forward?
Mm-hmm.
Can he be a prospect for a team that's really looking to kind of rebuild their goaltending?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I agree with you on that one. It looks like, yeah, Shelovs didn't even have that great of a year last year in Abbotsford, then got the call up out of the blue just because of all the injuries, but and did hold his own, but definitely probably a trading asset. But that brings us to our next point. The Abbotsford Canucks had a game last night, the only one since the last time we chatted. How did it go for them?
It was a goalie duel last night in Colorado there. It ended 2-1 in a shootout, their second straight shootout finish. Tolo Pilo stopped 29 of 30 shots, looked very good again, and he stopped all 3 shooters in the shootout. So
he looked really good.
To start the season, he's looked very good. It looks like Justin Pogge is doing good work with the goalies down there. We had talked about that a couple weeks ago, wondering if there would be a regression with the movement of Ian Clark and Justin Pogge coming in. But so far, I know it's a small sample size. We're only 3 games in, but it looks like the work they've been doing to start off the season is paying off.
Correct.
There's not a lot of rebounds. There's not a lot of dangerous scoring chances being given up where they're losing posts and things like we saw tonight. All their technical play looks really solid, and the team in front of them as a whole has been playing quite well. Ratu was drew into last night's lineup right away, and he had 2 shots on net, which was good. But yeah, obviously they're going again against Colorado tonight.
7:00 start.
It's 7:00 Central or whatever.
Right.
So I think 6:05. I think they're getting underway here in about 45 minutes. So,
and as the chat was discussing, it would probably be like a 6:25 start or something like that.
Well, they're pretty bang on when they say 6:05. It's pretty much the puck drops at 6:05 with the AHL.
They're a little less
they're
pomp
pretty
and circumstance down there in the AHL. I also wanted to note the Abbotsford Canucks. Sasson scored the goal in the third period for Abbotsford at 4:20, bro.
There you go. You always got to slip it in when you can.
Exactly. Just like Shorty always wanted.
Yeah, cool. And hopefully, no regulation losses to start the season. Hopefully they can keep that going tonight and maybe get the offense going. One thing to note, Lekkerimäki has not drawn into the lineup yet this season. So I'm keeping a close eye on that. I'm not sure if it's maybe he was injured or something in one of the preseason games that he played for the Canucks, or if they're just being cautious or going to get him in the home openers next weekend. But obviously he's on the roster, but hasn't been playing, which with a young guy like that, it's his first full year in the AHL, you don't want him sitting for too long. So hopefully he draws in soon. And yeah, we will see how they play tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just with Lekkerimäki, a very similar to Baines, he was playing in the prospects tournament. He was in the preseason. He was at training camp. So a lot of hockey he's already played this year. So hopefully if he's nursing something, he can get back quick and start getting some reps in.
Exactly.
Dustin, once again, I appreciate you coming and stopping by and joining the show. Everybody loves seeing you. We got Jay Bokot. I keep on saying his last name wrong. Jay Bokot. He's a regular on the stream now. Big fan of yours. Yep. So thanks again for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Predictions for the rest of the game?
I think the Canucks are going to keep driving the play. It looks like right now they have Philly's number. We'll see how Philly comes out to start the second. We're obviously probably going to need to weather, 2 to 5 minutes of pretty intense drive by the Flyers here. But right, I just think we just got to keep doing what we're doing. We've got plenty of shots being directed towards the net. A few more high chances, dangerous chances would be nice. Fewer shots coming from the outside, getting more to the middle. But if we can keep cycling the puck like Garland out to Petey there's going to be some pucks going in the net. I think we can see this offense starting to turn the corner. And I think a big rest of the game here for the boys.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of that gel. Awesome, Dustin. Enjoy the rest of the game. We'll talk to you again soon.
You too.
Nothing is perfect.